Welcome to the War Room. Today, I want to talk about the people that you surround yourself with. This is going to probably be a little bit all over the place because it covers a couple of different incidents and just a couple of things that I've noticed over the past couple of months. One of the biggest things that I try to get the men that come into my program to assess, to look at, and to really start doing some work on is the people that they surround themselves with. And this goes from the bottom all the way up. Because the people that are in our lives, the people that we bring into our lives are there for a reason. And a lot of times it's easy to look at things the way whatever happens in your life, however it unfolds. It's easy to look at things and look at the actions of other people and really focus on that. For example, let's say you have a homeboy that you think is, you think he's got your six. And, the only reason why you think this is because, in good times, you guys are chill. You drink together, you talk shit, tell lies, you do all these things together. And you believe that this your dude. But you find out, through the grapevine that, that the dude's not really got your best interest in mind. Whatever it is, whatever your personal boundary is. Let's just say he shoots at your girl. Your girl tells you that, he sends her an inappropriate text message. And, even though it's veiled, you can see through it because as a man, if you did the same thing, what your goal would be. And then you look at, then all of a sudden you look at this person and you catch feelings about this person, and rightfully so. Because any man that would do that to you, that's not your homeboy. That's not your dude. That dude is basically a piece of shit. But I think we get so caught up a lot of times in looking at the things, looking at the thing that we didn't like, and because those things are generally, they're generally jacked up. Anybody that you bounce that occurrence off of, they're gonna look at the situation and go, yeah, man, that shit, Roger, that was pretty fucked up. What happened? And rarely will you get anyone who tells the truth to you and get you to go past that and ask you the real hard questions. Now, excuse me. In dealing with helping the men dig out of their own quagmire of shit, one of the biggest obstacles that we have to overcome is, why was that your team? Why if these people that did these things to you, there's no argument that what happened was jacked up. But the real problem isn't with the people. The problem is with you. Because when you consider that each one of us is a man, we're here to be the kings in our kingdom. Whatever that kingdom is, we're here to be the leaders of that. And so whenever you let down the gates and allow people to come into your kingdom, that's your responsibility as a man. That's your call. So if you surround yourself with rats, and you can't be surprised when all your cheese comes up missing. Whenever you bring parasites into a healthy organism, the job of the parasite is to feed off the host. And so, when I look at different scenarios from, the Tekashi 6ix9ine snitching situation where he tells a story about, justifying what he did because of what his boys did. My biggest deal with that is, shit, why were you running with those dudes? You can look at the action there, and the action is wrong. They shouldn't be stealing from you, smashing your girl, stealing money, kidnapping your mom. None of these things should happen. Those things are wrong. But why are you kicking it with fools like that? If you don't want shit like that to happen, why are you playing gangster if you don't want gangster shit to happen? And my biggest problem with the way a lot of men handle things is it's easy to look at in this dude's situation, it's easy to look at, the occurrence. This dude boned my baby's mama. Well, you're playing gangster. A gangster wouldn't go snitch. If you're running with gangsters, playing gangster, and somebody does that to your baby's mama, and it's a point of contention for you, then the gangster shit would have been to go take a look at homeboy, make a business decision, change the way the motherfucker's face look. That's what gangster would do, not store it up and then wait to get extorted and then gets beat. That gangsters don't go through all that. And so when the dude gets in a rub, then he points at what that's what these dudes did. As a man, I'm saying, what did you have those dudes around you for if you weren't prepared to do what is required in that lifestyle? Now, in the context of the manosphere in dealing with women, what put me on this radar and made me start looking at the ignorance of a lot of the stuff that we do is this clown here popped up on my Instagram feed, I guess because of fitness or whatever. But I saw this picture and, I read the caption because I was trying to figure out what the fuck, what do you have to say when you post a picture like this? Because to me, it looks like some homo shit. And I read the caption and I'm like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, this dude is putting his business out here like abroad. And then my curiosity was piqued, so I had to go, take a look. And that's after I made a comment. I was like, shit, I just tied his shoes up. It was like, this is the way it is, man. This is the way that they roll. And so the girl fires back at me, and then, that's what piqued my curiosity. I was like, I gotta see what this chick looks like. And then I checked this out. And so when I look at this dynamic here, I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, okay, both of you fools are clowns. Both of you are thirsty as fuck. And for either one of you to end up in a cheating situation what did you think was going to happen? When you post pictures like this, what did you think was going to happen? And so this played itself out, and all of this started. I just started looking at this, and I started wondering what's the motivation of a dude who takes pictures like that, and then dates a woman who does the same, and the whole situation ends up in a train wreck because something happens, and it seems like a surprise to the other person. In this particular case, apparently she calls him up and tells him that they were breaking up because whatever, while she was she was getting served by some other dude. I don't know if it's true or not, but even to say that out, just to say that in a public forum, to put a person on blast and to play this game, damn, that's some feminine shit. Like that's some feminine shit. And when I look at, I got all these people shooting back, shooting at me because of what I say. And I'm just speaking, from what I see, the truth. You throw that shit up, and you throw your trash and it lands in my front yard. I'm gonna put it back in the sack and smash you over the head with it. I'm gonna have something to say if you. That's what you do when you do put anything on social media. That's what you're doing. You're throwing your shit on somebody else's porch. And so I was checking this out, and it rolls on, and then I get a glimpse of where we are when this fucking faggot chimes in and tells me, basically I'm a misogynistic, knuckle-dragging ape. And, so I tell him basically to kiss my ass and go fuck himself and haven't, no more shots fired there. But I started to think about it, and it was like, a lot of the times as men that we get into situations, especially the situations where we end up becoming red-pilled, if you will, when we become aware of what the fuck's really going on, a lot of times it comes because things happen in front of us that we never thought that would happen to us. But when you stop and you start to really look at why was this person in my life in the first place? Because it's so easy when you get out of those storms, it's easy to look back and go, damn, man, what was I thinking? And my question is, what were you thinking? Why did you pick that person when there were obvious signs that, there was some dysfunction there? Now, if you catch a chick, and she's just a professional actress where she can pull this thing off 100% to where she's one person in the day and another person in the night. If they can truly, truly do that, then man, they're good. But most of them aren't. Most women are just grown up little girls, and they're basically dummies. They learn game along the way by lying to dudes. They learn what works. They learn what to say, and that's when they learn whatever the personality is. But when a woman goes the hoe route, that usually gets imprinted in her at a young age. Most of the thotties that I've come across in my 50 years of existence, most of those girls that are just weapons hot with their pea sleeve, these girls got turned out at a really young age. And when that happens, they learn what a gold mine that they're sitting on, and they learn how to manipulate. At first, they're real goofy, like a baby deer trying to stand up for the first time. But just like a baby deer, they figure out real fast how to run and get away, and they did. They started getting it. They start being better and better and better at manipulating and lying. But men are simple-minded creatures. That's what gets us, because we've got that simp gene that's just a good session away from making us incapacitated and getting us to the point where we'll basically lose our fucking minds. This happens almost synergistically. And because a lot of men grow up with unresolved issues from their childhood, whatever it was, a lot of times the father was either overbearing or absent, but the mother is usually there just extracting things from boys and making them what they wish that they had. And so when the boy becomes involved in life, he's dealing with his mother's shit and whatever his father, did or didn't do for him. And then he's trying to navigate dealing with these snakes. And it is fucking hard to do. It's hard to do. But once you realize the person that once you start realizing who you are, the person that you truly are, not the person that you were taught to be, not the one that you were trained to be, not the one that you think you're supposed to be, but the person that you really, really are. When you can find your weaknesses, because that's the biggest, what gets us in the most trouble are things that are weaknesses on the inside of us. And a lot of times we don't even know what they are. but they play themselves out in the relationships that we have, the interactions that we have, how we show up in life. But the deal is, very, very seldom do we get a good picture of what that is. Because most of us surround ourselves with people that becomes an echo chamber. And that's one of the biggest problems in our society. People don't go where they can be told the truth. They go to where they can be told what they want to hear. They want to go where they can receive their cognitive bias. So whatever you think, whatever you want to believe, that's the people you go hang around. You're not going to go hang around someone that's going to tell you the opposing idea to what you think. That's not comfortable. Most people want to wallow around with people that are in the same shallow water as them. And so when you have weaknesses and you hang around people that are also weak like you or similar to you, no one ever calls you on your shit. No one ever says, hey man, you need to tighten up this, and this because, whatever. And those are the things that we need to fix. Those are the things that we need to identify and eradicate or figure out how to balance them in our lives if we can't totally get rid of them. One of the biggest reasons why I do the work that I do and try to help men find their way, like not what they want to do, but whatever their way is. That's because I've seen far too many examples of men making decisions based off of their inherent weaknesses, fears, insecurities, whatever it is that's unchecked. I've seen countless men throw their lives away because there were things underneath the surface that they weren't aware of. They didn't know how to deal with, and then once it comes out, it becomes something that is destructive. I've seen it happen to the point where men have thrown their lives away, where men have made other people's lives expire, or where they've thrown their lives away to where they've been locked up for life, or where they simply threw their lives away to where they got involved with someone and completely got off their purpose and then ended up living a life of just existence. One of the most important things that I try to get men to do is whatever it is that you've gone through, whatever experience it is that you have with another person. I'm not saying that what happened was right, wrong, or whatever. My point is you picked them. You brought them into your space and then you played out the game the way that it was going to be played. What was your role in that? What was broken inside of you that made you pick that person and play that game instead of realizing the obvious red flags that had to have been flying the whole time? What made you ignore those things? What made you go into the fire anyway, believing that somehow you were going to come out the other side unscathed? I don't tell men to not deal with women. I do not encourage men to do anything that I deem ridiculous in totality. What I do encourage men to do is go inside of themselves and find out collectively, individually, why are these people in my life? Why are these the people that I hang out with? Why is this the person that I want to spend my time, my money, my effort, my heart on? What is it? And if you're not getting back what you feel that you deserve, if you're not getting a return on your investment, why are you still investing? So many times men get thrown off of their path, off their course because of a woman. Sometimes it's justified. Sometimes we do things that are deserving of punishment. But sometimes things play themselves out and men will lose everything because of woman's vindictiveness. The video that I've linked below talks about John Copenhaver. If you're not familiar with him, he was a UFC fighter that they called War Machine. He was dating some Christy Mack, I believe, she's a porn star. When he was dating her, already you can see where this is going. Apparently something happened. I think he caught her with some other guy or whatever. He changed that dude's face, changed her face as well. A lot of things happened. The dude ended up getting a life sentence in Nevada. Now, what he did was wrong. Beating that girl up was completely wrong, and he should have had to pay a price for it. But watch this video. Take 20 minutes out of your time and watch this video. And you don't have to form an opinion. You don't have to have a bias. I just simply want you to understand how important it is to understand the people that you bring into your life, the possible ramifications of doing so, and understand the consequence, the possible consequence of bringing someone into your life that when the switch flips and they go from loving you to wanting to destroy you, just how much you have to lose. Your circle, the people that you surround yourself with, is your team. That's your strength. How strong is your circle? If it's not strong, ask yourself, why are you so weak to have to surround yourself with such weak people? Out.